So the way the brakes work on these, you got this little master cylinder and the foot pedal works it. And you've got two little Allen head screws that take the cap off. There's the cap right there. And it goes down to this caliper. Well, this one, it will not pump up and the master cylinder is leaking. You try to pump it up and it just starts dripping. So, no good. I tried bleeding it, but it, like I said, it won't pump up and it's leaking. So I'm gonna have to order a master cylinder. I'll get some rear brakes on it. Looked quickly on Amazon. Looked like they're about 15 bucks, but I'm trying to find one that's on Prime so I can get it before my son's birthday party. I found one that comes with the hose, master cylinder, and caliper for $30. So if nothing else, I'll order that one. But I'm gonna go ahead and continue on without this, and well, shoot, I might need the body off to replace it. I don't know. Alright, here's what I'll do. Hubs are loose. I'm gonna go ahead and fix the hubs now. Do all that stuff today. And I might wait to stick the body on it until I get, or maybe I'll stick the body on it but don't bolt it on. I don't know. We'll figure something out. I know that master cylinder would be easier to put on without the body on it, but you know, we'll see. Alright, put the lid back on the master cylinder and started pumping it again. See that drip? Caliper's leaking too. So I'm gonna go ahead and order that master cylinder and caliper and we'll replace both. So here's our rear brakes. The disc isn't too bad. So like I said, this caliper is leaking and the master cylinder is leaking. So what I did, I went on Amazon and I bought a complete setup, and it was $20 or $30, maybe $25, $30, I don't remember. But the problem I was having is finding one that would fit lined up to here. And the only one I could find that had an actual measurement was too small. And so I took a gamble on one, and it looks like it's gonna fit. So if I measure, let's chill up for a second. If I measure the four-wheeler, what I've got is right at 2.5 inches. If I measure this caliper, what I've got is right at 2.5 inches. So it should fit. What I do see as an issue though is when I line it up, so if I put the brake caliper on and try to line it up, the spacing is off. See that? See this gap here? So what we are going to do, this bracket here, I cannot use this bracket. This bracket has the spacing that we need, see? But if you measure the pins on this caliper, they're right at 3.5 inches. you measure the pin on this one, and we're at 2 3/4. So this caliper is wider. The mounting spot right here is the same between the two. So, you know, the caliper we have will work on here if we get the spacing right. So, what I'm gonna do, well, okay, so this one, yeah, this one went like that. So what we need to do is I'm gonna take this bracket off, and we are gonna grind the welds off of these spacers, and we're gonna put these spacers on. I may not grind them, I may just use them as spacers. I may not weld them, I may just use them as spacers on this other caliper bracket. And that'll give us the spacing we need to make this caliper work on here. Just like that. Yeah, there's no other real way we could do it. The only other way, yeah, you can't move this over to the other side of the bracket. There's no room for the bolts, because the bolts then would have to come through this way, so there's no room for the head of the bolts. So the only way is to space it here. You can't move the spacing on the brake disc. So let me take this off. We're gonna undo the bolts right over here on the master cylinder. And that will allow us, it's an 8. Yeah. So I'm going to take these 2 bolts out. Then there's a pin on the brake pedal. We'll take that off. And then there's a switch right here. And let's take that off. So I'm going to get all that stuff off, and then we'll be able to take the master cylinder off and take this whole thing out as a unit. Master cylinder, cable, caliper, everything all together. What's nice about the new one is it comes pre-filled with brake fluid. So this new one is bled and ready to go. don't buy a cobalt vise, by the way. I don't think they sell them anymore. Someone gave me this one, and they gave it to me new in, well, it wasn't new in the box, but they gave it to me in the box, and they gave it to me because there's an ear broken off. So I kind of just use it as a floor vise, you know, wherever I'm working, bring it around and use it on the floor. But it is jammed up now, and I'm not sure what has it jammed, but it is a crappy vise. See, it locks up. It will not close any further than that. So I don't know what's happened to it, but something has got it jammed. And there it is, it stops. Oh, there. It is jammed up against its housing right there. Should not have to deal with this with the vise. I've probably used this thing, the person I got it from, they didn't use it at all. They bought it, and then I guess they broke it, or it was broken in the box. I don't know why I didn't take it back, but by the time they gave it to me, Lowe's didn't carry cobalt vices anymore. There. Now it's unjammed. Alright, so here's the problem we've got. And upon closer inspection of my tripods, getting worn out here. The joints are getting, it's a Joby knockoff. The joints are getting loose on it, and so I ground those off, and then was trying to knock them off. Then I flipped it over and realized that those are pins that they're these are shouldered pins, shouldered threaded pins that are pressed into intact to this bracket. So it's not just spacers that are tacked on here. You can see that line there. They are they're on there. So I'm not going to drill and press these into those brackets. So we're going to come up with some washers that are this distance. We'll make sure to get some that are spaced exactly the same. And we're just going to space it with a couple washers. I was going to use spacers, but they're not spacers, so can't use these. And like I said, this bracket right here is wider right here than the new caliper. Take a look. See much wider, so it will not fit. So let me go make or get some spacers. If I don't have any, I will make some on the lathe, but I should have some washers that'll fit. So let me go look.